Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. I pray that you all are staying safe, staying healthy. Now, today's video is all about release. What do we need to let go of, say goodbye to, or release in our lives? What has been holding us back or obstructing us from our dreams, goals, and ambitions? What has been keeping us from living a high quality life? So these are aspects that we'll be diving into today. This is a timeless reading, but with Aries season just around the corner, and this recent full moon in Virgo bringing a lot of revelations to us, I thought it would be helpful to expose anything that has sort of overstayed its welcome in our life. You know, I say this all the time, and excuse me for those of you that are already very aware of this, but I am not the keeper of the answers to your life, okay? You are the one with the answers. So my readings, my channel is not here to tell you something that you do not know. My readings are here to confirm the things that you do know. So maybe you're not immediately aware of certain things, and hopefully these readings in my channel can help you align with your own truth. So you are the answer, and I am simply a reminder or confirmation of that answer, okay? So we're about to get into this meditation, but if you already know your pile, then you can scroll to the description and comments for the timestamps to those piles, and I will meet you there. Now, for those that are ready to get to this meditation, let me just say, like I always do, that this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. 30 seconds into that meditation, I will be placing crystals for those that like to pick piles with objects on them. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there's another message for you in that pile. So if you'd like to participate in this meditation, get into a nice relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds and exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirits, universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self in order to reveal any sort of stuck energy that needs to be released from your life. What needs to be released? Once you've done this a few times, you should be ready to start that meditation. This is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. And we'll start that meditation right now. Here on pile 1, bloodstone. On pile 2, rose quartz. Pile 3, hematite. Pile 4, an angel phantom quartz. And on pile 5, silver shungite. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to meditate with the crystals on each pile. Hopefully that meditation was enough time for you to pick a pile and tap into your own psychic awareness. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, an amazing spirit for these messages today. Now let's see what needs to be released in your life, and I will meet you at your pile. All right, and pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what it is that you need to release. So let's go ahead and get started with your tarot cards here. The very first one that we have is the Movement of Cups, otherwise known as the Knight of Cups, the Four of Wands in reverse, and the Innocence of Pentacles, otherwise known as the Page of Pentacles. All right, so just starting off with these 3 cards here, what I'm getting here is you want someone to commit with this Knight of Cups in reverse, or to be committed to you with this Four of Wands in reverse here. You're waiting for them to offer or make a show of affection and love towards you with this Page of Pentacles. So it's like you want someone or something to choose you. This could be a relationship, a job, or an opportunity. This could also be a business, but you are really trying to build something here. It seems like you are waiting on someone or something else to sort of seal this deal, because you feel as though you need them for something. There's so much murkiness here. It just feels very murky. You need them in order for this to work, or in order for this to manifest or to come to fruition. You need this or you need that person. You see more potential in them than they do in themselves or in this situation. Some of you are waiting for a person to make it clear what they want or what their intentions are with you. The way this baby bison here is looking up, it's very hopeful. It's very wishful, waiting. There's an issue of patience here. You are being too patient with this person or this situation. If you have to ask someone, what are we or what are we doing? Your answer lies in the question. The fact that you are even in the dark or confused or unsure of where things stand is an answer all in itself. Something or someone that wants you will choose you. And when we as people make a choice, it's obvious, it's known. The world knows, we know. There is no gray area when someone chooses. That's why the gray area exists, right? Because we don't know if it's black or white, light or dark, left or right. It can pass as either or, and choices do not pose. Choices cannot pass as anything. Choices are premeditated actions. It's an actionable decision that draws a line in the sand about where we stand as a person. So the main thing that you need to release, pile one, is your ability to be understanding and cooperative. And I know that sounds really, really weird. But this is about you putting your foot down and you making the decisions. Instead of you waiting for someone or something to choose you, you need to take a stand in your own value and worth and be the one that decides who and what you want. You are not an option, pile one. You are a action. So don't patiently wait around for this thing or person to become available, because time is a currency that we just cannot afford, even though we are under the impression or illusion that we have time, when in truth, we don't. We cannot get back time and energy, so we have to be very conscious, aware, and wise about how we spend that currency, okay? And the next card that we have here is strength. Exactly. The thing you need to release, pile one, is your ability to be okay either which way. The woman and the lion, they can collaborate, they can work together, they can coexist, they can be civil, but they refuse to become the other person. The lion refuses and would not under any circumstance choose to be the woman, and the woman refuses and would not under any circumstance choose to be the lion. They are both very aware of how extremely different they are in terms of species, but they are still choosing to collaborate, right? So there's a split here again of, are you a human or are you a lion? Are you left or are you right? Are you light or are you dark? Like I said, there's no gray area here. There is no gray area in the strength card. They merge together, they work together, but they do not fuse. They do not confuse the lines, right? Their strength, their greatest strength is in them recognizing their differences, is in them being able to recognize, okay, you're a human and you're a lion. The strength is in their ability to be able to recognize you're on this side versus that side. This is right versus this is left. So if you want a commitment out of someone, let it be known, pile one. Don't try to convince yourself whatever's happening is okay if you truly are not okay with it. And if they are not available or are not willing to commit, then drop them, whoever this person or situation is. And then stick to that choice of losing them as an option, because it's not fair of you to be expected to wait around for this person or situation's availability as if you don't have a life to tend to, as if you don't have a life to live, as if your time isn't precious and valuable, as if you don't have a world out here to conquer. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you deserve, so commit to your worth, pile one. No matter if people call you high maintenance, difficult, unyielding, stubborn, rigid, no matter if they accuse you of being selfish, you have got to look out for your own interests. And you are the one that is responsible of being able to keep up with your time, just like we are the ones that are responsible for, like, once our job pays us, it's our responsibility to know where we are spending that money. It's our responsibility to be able to ration out that money, that the way we can afford our bills, that the way we can pay our bills, bills, that the way we can still live a life and maybe take vacations, here and then, every now and again. But it's up to us. Once our job pays us, it's up to us how we ration out that money. It's up to you how you ration out your time and your energy and your emotions and your heart. It's up to you, but you're the one that has to maintain that, and not everyone deserves that. So the thing that needs to be released here is your ability to be so patient and cooperative. You don't have time to be patient. You don't have capacity to be cooperative. They need to also be expected to sacrifice time and energy and their ability to cooperate. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that whatever it is that you are sacrificing, they're also sacrificing. It should not just be you having to pay for things. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here to see what else it is the cards are saying. All right, and the very first card that we have here is sacrifice. Beautiful. Then, wow, colorless angel. Wow. What did I keep talking about? No more gray areas. No more gray areas. This angel has no life. It's no color to it. We don't know if it's a good angel or a bad angel. Wow. Wow. Okay. The next card that we have here is self-love. Then joy. Get creative. And surrender. Okay, so let's start off with sacrifice. So yes, release the idea, pile one, that you are the only one that needs to sacrifice. Release the idea that you are the only one in the way of this thing working out, whatever this is. Release the idea that you are the one in the way of what you want. If you continue blaming yourself for your unhappiness in a way that is not constructive but actually destructive to your own self-worth, here we have self-love and the joy card here. So if you continue to not give yourself constructive criticism but more so destructive critique, then it's inhibiting your self-worth. It's affecting your self-worth and your joy. If you start to inhibit or block out your own self-love and your joy, a very dangerous possibility here is that you can blind yourself to the true culprit of the issue, or the true source of the issue. The true culprit may be the people or situations that you are getting involved in. If you are so available, why isn't it working? Ask yourself that. If you are so available, why isn't it working? Clearly, it's not you, right? And you will see that maybe it's not only you that should be suffering the consequences. It's not only you that should be making the sacrifices. It's not only you that should be, spending your time and your energy. And then moving on to colorless angel, this is all about being in the gray zone. Like I was talking about earlier, it's wild that this card came out. This is about facing what needs to be dealt with so you can firmly choose a side instead of existing in a state of limbo, because no one deserves that, pile one. Our time is just much too precious. But yeah, for sure, it's crazy that this card came out, and I was talking about the gray area, and it's 12:34 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving on to get creative. We're just going to keep moving this train on here, okay? So get creative. This is all about where you choose to spend or exert your energy. Choose to invest your energy into ways where you are creating and inviting things in, like self-love, self-worth, and joy into your atmosphere. Invite in self-love and joy. Get creative with these things, right? So you want to invite these things into your atmosphere where you do this on your own versus needing something or someone else to supply that to you, and releasing the notion that you needed anything else to make this happen. That is where a lot of your power is going to come in at. And then moving on to surrender here. This is all about releasing our need to control. Wow. So maybe this is about you feeling so out of control within this dynamic that the only control you can claim is to blame yourself or to see yourself as the issue. So this may be why you think being as cooperative as possible and as patient as possible is the answer. Because if you are not the issue, then there's nothing here that you can do about the outcome of the situation. That's too risky of a scenario to subscribe to. We do this as humans. This is a normal human function. For example, with this virus that's going around, tissue paper, things like that are sold out everywhere. People have been stockpiling these things. And a psychologist actually explained that we do this because we feel we've lost our sense of control. So we practice little habits like spending an entire paycheck on paper towels and Lysol, right? Because we feel as though if I have this, I'm safer. If I have this, then now my safety is a little bit more in my control versus like there's just this invisible virus that we cannot see that's going around and it's hurting people, it's killing people. taking people away from their normal life, their jobs. People are no longer allowed to travel. This is that little way that we can reclaim more power and authority over the situation that feels very powerless to us. We feel very hopeless to this situation, right? We feel almost like victims of the situation, like there's just nothing we can do besides sitting there and taking it. So this is about you realizing that you are safe and in control no matter what. You are in control, pile one. When you realize this, you will be the one calling the shots. And even if you find yourself in another position where someone is deciding between you and something else, it won't matter to you because you'll already be resting easy and knowing that you don't need to be chosen to be anything. You already exude any qualities another person admires about you, whether they realize that or not, whether they're able to admit that or not. Okay, so that's the main thing that you have to release, pile one, is really releasing your, I know it sounds weird, but releasing your ability to be patient and cooperative, because you need to actually draw more of a line in the sand where you're like, no, this isn't going to fly with me. You actually need to be a little bit more demanding. You've earned that. You're allowed to do that. Like I said, your currency is your time and your energy. That's all we truly do have as humans in this life. So spend it wisely, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing, pile one. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out, obviously, to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, amazing spirit itself for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world. And I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards here to see what it is that you need to release in your life, or to see what is in the way of you achieving your goals, dreams, and ambitions, okay? So let's go on ahead and check out your tarot cards, see what we've got going on. And the very first card that we have here is the Heart of Swords in reverse, otherwise known as the Queen of Swords in reverse. Then we have the Five of Wands, and then the Ten of Cups. I love this card. It's so pretty. Your message is coming through so strong. Pile 2, you have very strong alpha energy. Let me just say that. If you don't feel that to be true, then either you picked the wrong pile or you simply have not tapped into that energy yet, okay? So what I'm seeing here, starting off with this Queen of Swords in reverse and the Five of Wands here, is you feel you can't trust a good thing with this Ten of Cups here without pushing it to its limits by testing the hell out of it. This is feeling like, I'll know I can trust this person or situation if I push them away or show them the side of me that everyone always abandons or runs away from. Then I know that they'll always be around, basically. Then they've earned my trust. Then they've earned my ability to see them as something long term. This is a cycle, pile 2. This Five of Wands to me, it looks like a wheel of fire, aggression, passion, intensity, heat. When you're looking at this Five of Wands, that's what I'm seeing here. But nonetheless, it is still a cycle. You feel the only way to get to this Ten of Cups here is if this person or thing or situation can survive you. All of you, all sides of you, the good, the bad, the ugly. You can't be at peace or relaxed with anything long term until you know it can handle this sort of intensity, your intensity. The thing that you need to release, pile 2, is this cycle of tests. The things and people you love, value, cherish, or want to see a future with should not have to survive you, pile 2. You shouldn't have to put them through a boot camp of your traits, of your most intense traits, or of your most aggressive traits, or your most abrasive traits. You're asking too much of them, these people or these situations, because this is not the real you. It's not even you. You may think it is, but it is not. That urge in you, that voice that tells you to push someone or something that seems too good to be true, to push them away, that is not the real you. That little voice that tells you to push this Ten of Cups away is not the real you. That's fear that's talking to you. That's pain that's talking to you. You were here long before your fears and pain was. So don't think that they know what's best for you, because they don't. Fear and pain does not know what's best for us. That puts us into survivor's mode, survivor's mentality, where we are now operating from a state of survival, from a state of lack, from a state of anxiety, from a state of, I gotta get you before you get me, or I have to escape you before you get me. It puts us in this state of victimhood, right? It puts us in that mindset. You know what's best for you, pile 2, and putting people through a series of events where they have to prove themselves to you over and over again is not going to magically transition you to a place of certainty with this person or situation. You have to know, pile 2, that there's no end to fear and pain. Once we invite in fear and pain, we have to kick them out if we want them gone. And we invite in pain and fear by holding on to difficult experiences, whether we caused them or not, whether we warranted these things, these experiences or not. What's in our house or energy field came in because we allowed it in. Realize that there's no end to these tests. You're going to keep testing. There's not some final test. There's not some like final exam where it's like, okay, now it's done. Now my fear and pain is no longer going to push this person away. No, there is no end to that. There won't be a specific point in time where your fears and pain finally shut up because that person or situation didn't run away from you. You have to be the one to abandon your fears and pains. You have to be the one to shut them out. Otherwise, they're going to keep you from this, your own 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is fulfillment. It's emotional fulfillment. It's joy. It is this feeling of being whole. When we see the 10 of Cups, it's typically depicted in the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith. It's depicted as a family. This, I don't know, maybe they're husband and wife, spouse, partners, whatever, but they are holding up their hands over this house in this beautiful green landscape, and their kids are running around in the yard, and there's this beautiful rainbow, and they are just so filled with life and happiness and abundance and joy. They are so fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled. We're dealing with cups. This is all about emotional fulfillment, right? But it's almost like in order for a person to get through, to kind of crack through your shell and get to this emotional part of you that wants to be fulfilled, it's like they have to go through your swords first. They have to go through your wands first. The swords represents how we communicate, how we talk, our intellect, our mind, how we learn. The 5 of Wands deals with our energy, devotion, our determination, our motivation, what moves us, what pushes us, our purpose. So this is energy and communication here. So people have to sort of get through this fiery part of your spirit. They have to sort of get through that maybe abrasive or aggressive talk before they get to that really soft inner shell or that soft underbelly that you have. Because you're actually very gentle and you want so badly to have this emotional fulfillment. But this emotional fulfillment is under layers and layers and layers of maybe not aggression is not the word, but it's like this emotional fulfillment is just under layers and layers and layers of hardness. And this isn't actually you. This is actually your fear. Okay? And the next card that we have here is, look at that, you guys, the 3 of Swords. Yeah, exactly. This is what these tests will always lead to, is the 3 of Swords. I understand why you do it, pile 2. It's because you don't want to be abandoned. You don't want to be all in and then someone decides that they can't handle you. So you figure, I give them the best and worst parts of me. And while that's very admirable of you, it's also very disorienting and painful for this other party because they don't necessarily know what to expect and they may not understand why you're like this. You have to release this pain, pile 2, this 3 of Swords, whatever this is, you have to release it. That pain that has decided to sign a lifelong lease to your subconscious and unconscious psyche, you have to kick it out. You have to release pain because we admit what we are, and whatever we are is how we see life. You're not seeing life through your own eyes anymore. You're seeing life and people through pain's eyes, through the eyes of fear, through the eyes of pain. We are what we admit, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at you guys' oracle cards here to see what else it is that we're seeing about what you need to release. The very first card that we have here is patience. Then we have truth. Then we have burden. Wow. Gilded regret. And I won't cry for you. All right, so these oracle cards are very powerful. Wow. So starting off with truth and burden, you see your truth as a burden, pile 3, or pile 2, I'm sorry, I keep calling you pile 3. You see your realness as a burden. You see yourself as someone that people cannot handle most of the time. But you have to give people a chance to handle you, and not the fear or pain based you, but the real you, the actual you, the gentle, kind, loving, protective, alpha, exciting part of you. But this type of excitement is not excitement at all. It's painful for the other parties and it's confusing. It makes people want to stay away. And when that outcome actually materializes, you internalize that and you start blaming yourself, your intensity, or your truth, and it becomes your burden. And you sort of subscribe to this idea where it's like, I'm just too real for people. It's a cycle. Like I said, with this Five of Wands here, it's this cycle of reinforcing certain expectations. But you do not have to do this, my love. Pile 2, you do not have to do this. You do not have to reinforce these fears and this pain, because that's basically what you're doing, is like conjuring it right back up by saying, you know what, I'm going to push them and push them and push them and see if they actually leave. Well, yeah, if you push them, you're creating distance. So of course you're going to feel distance. And that other person may take that distance as a hint where it's like, you know what? They don't want anyone close to them. So of course you are reinforcing that. You're conjuring it up. Okay, moving on to gilded regret here. You may be holding on to regret. Some sort of truth is burdening you. But is it your truth or is it an adopted truth? Are you truly intense and wild and unpredictable, or is that your fear telling you who you are? And I won't cry for you is so powerful in this spread, because I feel your pain wanting to be expressed. It's wanting to be released, and it wants to vent, and you hardly ever release it or let it out or show it. It's like you keep it in this cage. Gilded, yeah, exactly. You keep it in this cage. Vulnerability may be quite difficult for you. I won't cry for you sounds like I knew you would leave. I knew I was right. I knew you weren't truly for me, because if so, you would have survived me. You would have stayed. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I refuse to cry over someone that left me. I said it earlier, to not allow your pain and fears to blind you. People are not leaving because you are unlovable. It is because you are operating from fear and pain. What we operate on, we emit. Whatever we emit is what our environment becomes. People do not want to be in an environment of pain and fear. No one wants to be in an environment of that, right? So that's why people are stepping away. It's not because you're unlovable. It's not because you're too real. It's not because of any of these things. It's not because of the real you. It's because of the you that has been crafted over time. It's been cultivated over time through pain and fear. Pain and fear is like, it has you on this string, like you're like a puppet. And pain and fear is the one that's like handling your strings, and you're moving in all these different directions, and you're exuding all these different behaviors and things like that, but it's not the actual you. Your connection to pain and fear has got to be cut. It has to. Those strings have got to be cut. Okay, and then moving on to patience here. Have patience with yourself, pile 2. Have patience with others. Their true colors will show with or without this series of tests that you require of people, almost like a rite of passage. You know, people will prove themselves to you. You don't need to put them through your own sort of test that you've comprised. You don't have to put anyone or yourself through hell over and over again. All you have to do is wait, have patience, because time will reveal all. Okay, they will not be able to hide from who they truly are, just like you cannot hide from who you truly are. Okay, so you don't have to also put this on them and say, well, you know, you can hide from who you truly are, because you're not. People can tell that this is not the real you. They know it isn't. That's why they're so drawn to you, because they know how much love you have. They know how lovable you are. They're drawn to you because they want to love you. They're not drawn to you because of this intensity. Okay? So that's what needs to be released, pile 2, and that's what I'm seeing here. So I pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I love you guys, pile 2. I just let me say that. I feel like I need to say that. I love you guys so very much, because you guys are so soft and sweet. You're just so afraid to show it, it feels like. But I pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit itself for these messages today. Hope you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys, please stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world, and I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards here to see what it is that you need to release from your life. So let's go on ahead and take a look. The very first oracle card that we have here is the 7 of Cups. I love the 7 of Cups. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. The 7 of Wands. Wow. And the 9 of Cups in reverse. All right, so right away, you definitely may be a life path 7 to pull both of these 7s and then a 9. Okay, but yeah, so what I'm seeing here, pile three, with the Seven of Cups and this giraffe's head in the clouds is not being present, having so many other options, people, things, places to focus on has caused a bit of distraction in your life. This to me is screaming social media, the internet, something with the internet and not being present in your own world and life because there's so many other things happening. This could be the media, the news, something like that. It's almost very chaotic, the amount of distractions here. And the Seven of Wands is competition, it's comparison, it's envy or jealousy. Seeing these options and making analogies or analyzing the differences between you and something else or two contrasting things. So there's a lot of comparison happening here. And because of that, it's led to a dissatisfaction within the self with this Nine of Cups in reverse here. Or in the very least, it has disturbed your own internal peace and your ability to feel good and at home and satisfied with yourself. The thing you need to release, pile three, is perfection. If this giraffe could take his head out of the clouds for just a moment, he would see how amazing he is and how there's almost no other animal like him on the planet. He would realize that he's comparing himself to dogs, sheep, cows, lizards, fish, whatever the hell else is out there in the world, right? These animals, they are amazing in their own right, but it doesn't mean that the giraffe isn't spectacular either. But it's hard to recognize your own allure and magnificence when you project it onto other people instead of keeping some for yourself. We can also, I know a lot of people, when they talk about projection, we're talking about like negative habits and negative emotions. Sometimes we can project our own excellence onto other people. And instead of keeping it for ourselves, it almost disempowers us because we're seeing another person as excellent. We're seeing another person as on this pedestal. When really, truly, it's how we feel about ourselves, but we just don't know how to accept that. We don't know how to internalize it, so we project it, we push it outwards, and then it ends up going out to another person. It ends up belonging to another person. So perfection, the idea of perfection, comparing your value in another's is what has to be released for sure here. There's something here about lashing out as well, but not towards other people. It almost feels self-inflicted, like a little bit of self-punishment. There's this feeling of wanting to match the greatness you see in others. If there's any sort of self-harm involved, from the extremes of like bodily harm to eating disorders, body dysmorphia, drinking, maybe reckless partying, there's a need to be as far away from your own body or life with this giraffe here. His head is so far from his body. This feels like a need to escape yourself. It feels like a discomfort of living in your own skin. Sex as well keeps coming up for me. Watch your sexual partners, pile three. If there is some self-hate happening, it very well could be coming from the people that you've been sexually active with. We take on people's demons, spirits, energies when we have sex with them. When we give money to the cashier at Starbucks, that's an exchange of energy right there. So of course, and I've talked about this before, but of course when it comes to sex, we are taking on all of that person. The French call orgasms la petite mort, the little death. And this is because they saw orgasms as us losing a bit of our own consciousness, because it's a releasing of energy, a surrendering of energy into this other person. And depending on how this other person feels about themselves, you could be inheriting any sort of draining, chaotic, or self-defeating energy or traits that this person may have. There may also be a person, sexual partner, friend, romantic interest that you need to release as well as there may be even a celebrity or a public person, a public figure that you keep up with that needs to be released. It's all about assessing how you feel after spending time and energy on someone. How do they make you feel? Definitely, for sure, how do they make you feel? This is as well as like, this looks like a moon to me, and then 9 is a number of regeneration. It's also a feminine number, so this feels like a lot of feminine energy. Getting in tune with this feminine energy. We have 2 cups cards here. So this is really about like getting in touch with your feminine energy. There's something about the feminine that needs to heal within you. And the feminine is all about unconditionally loving something, because the feminine energy has no conditions. That's all masculine energy. Masculine's job is to have conditions, limitations, structures, things like that, which we do need. I do not believe in bashing on the masculine or the feminine. I believe that we need them both. The feminine cannot do her job without the masculine. The masculine cannot do his job without the feminine. That's how I see it. But for sure, there's something with the feminine energy here that needs to be healed. Whether you are identify as a man or a woman, the feminine energy needs to be healed. And the next card that we have here is, yeah, look at that. Another Cups card. 2 of Cups in reverse. Okay. Yeah, so it's a relationship, because that's 3 Cups cards now. So for sure, it's some sort of a relationship. This is either a relationship or a person that's somehow involved in your life. This could also as well be a relationship that you have with another thing that's not a person. You know, we have relationships with finances, we have relationships with our bodies, we have relationships with sex, right? So because we invest time and energy, that's all a relationship is. All a relationship is I'm choosing to invest my time and energy, which is invaluable, it's priceless. I'm choosing to invest this priceless part of myself into you. That's all a relationship is. It's just simply a connection of exchange. That's it. So this could as well, for sure, for some of my pile 3s, this is for sure a person or a relationship in your life. For others of you, this is your relationship with something else that might not be as aware. You might not be as aware of it, okay? But yes, you guys may not know each other personally, but whoever this is, they still have a very heavy impact on your own energy. There's a connection, an extended cord stretching between the 2 of you, or between you and your idea of perfection. Maybe this is your own relationship of with perfection, happiness, acceptance. This is your own idea of perfection, happiness, acceptance. So this could be the cord between you and this other thing. This is a connection you established spiritually and emotionally. So for sure, for some of you, this is a relationship or individual, but this connection, this cord needs to be severed. This may, like I said, it's almost like you're, this may be someone you're somewhat unaware of or blind to, with this giraffe having his eyes covered by the clouds because you're so distracted by other things. This connection has drained you, and you're not very aware of the fact that this connection, this bond, this cord that you're tied to is draining you, is draining your lifeline. Distractions have to be released for these clouds to clear up so you can see clearly, okay, pile 3? So let's go ahead and get to you guys' oracle cards here, see what else it is we're seeing that needs to be released, okay? The very first card that we have here is Ask Body. Yeah, exactly. I was picking up some things with your body. The next card that we have is Magi, Masquerade, Naked Before the Stars, Struggle, and Grounding. Okay, so naked before the stars. Get naked before the stars, pile 3. Remove the facade you may be masquerading around in. Remove the need to be perfect, because perfection is an outfit. It's a costume. It's something that we meticulously design and put together. It's crafted but not created, and there is a big difference there. So these 2 cards are saying to get back to your own energy, your own source, without your opinions weighing them down, without your opinions influencing who you come off to be or who you come off as, right? And then moving on to the Magi and Ask Body. Yeah, so the relationship that you have with your body, like I was saying, is coming up again in the oracle cards. So this is really important to connect to. And then we have both of these cards here. They have this eye present, this one eye. So this is your third eye, pile 3. And you are pile 3, and this is your third eye that's coming up. Very, very interesting. So it's really important to exercise this chakra, pile 3, your third eye chakra, because it's going to help you see things and people for what and who they truly are. Our physical eyes can definitely deceive us and lie to us, but not our third eye. Our third eye is a detection meter for the truth. It's a barometer for truth, basically. All right, and then moving on down here to struggle and grounding. So moving on to struggle here, there's an internal struggle that you're dealing with, and it's stemming from these comparisons, pile 3. What it is that you're seeing is not reality. 7 of Cups also deals with that as well. The 7 of Cups is a card where it's like, in the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck, it's depicted as someone that's looking at 7 cups floating in the air, and inside of these 7 cups are different sort of surprises. And the person that's looking at these 7 cups, they don't know exactly what's inside of each cup. So this is all about illusion, not really knowing what's going on, not really knowing what's the best option or decision here, not really being able to see the illusion or the facade naked before the stars, masquerade. These cups are masquerading. These surprises inside of these cups they're masquerading with these cups. So the surprises that are in there, like in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So in the Seven of Cups, there's like a snake in one, there's a crown in another. There's something else that looks like a crystal. There's some other creature in a different cup. There's like a head floating out of another cup. There's like all these different things in these cups, but the person can't necessarily see what's inside of them. Okay, so these surprises are masquerading behind these cups. So what I'm getting here is like, whatever it is that you are consuming is not real. And this is why your idea of perfection is completely unattainable, because it's not real. So whatever it is that you're looking at, like social media, for instance, there's a lot of people absolutely faking it on social media. I think we all know this. But there's so many people faking it on social media. And if you're not careful, you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm such a slob. Why don't I look like this? Why don't I look like that? Well, they don't even look like this or that. They had to get some help in looking like how they look. There's filters involved, possibly even doctors and surgery and money and clothes and makeovers. And there's no telling how much is involved in order to create that idea of what they want you to see. It's a masquerade. It's a masquerade. So if you are comparing yourself to these things that you're seeing that aren't even real themselves, of course your idea of perfection, comparing yourself to these things, is going to be a losing battle. Okay? So for sure, release these comparisons, release those. And then grounding here, focusing on the body is very important, and that would be the root chakra. So the root chakra and the third eye chakra, they're really coming through here. And so the root is the lower chakras, and the third eye, it rests with the higher chakras. So there's this balance here of the lower and the higher chakras really wanting to be focused on. And this will help you immensely. So this will incite and bring some balance into your life. So instead of being too much in your head, being too far into the air, like this giraffe here, it'll be more grounded. You'll be more grounded. You'll still be able to feel your feet down here. All right, so this is all that I'm seeing for pile 3 in terms of what you need to release, but definitely perfection, your idea of perfection. Possibly even a relationship, a sexual partner, a friend, a romantic partner. There's something here, some sort of influence here that definitely needs to be released, because it's influencing you to think that you are less than what you actually are. You're actually fucking spectacular. You're amazing. You're already perfect. And whatever it is that you're consuming it's either communicating to you, or you are interpreting it, or you are interpreting this thing as something that you're lacking, or something that makes you imperfect, okay? So yeah, this is all that I'm seeing for my pile 3s. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, amazing spirited self, for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world. And I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 4, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be checking out your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what it is that you need to release in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first tarot card that we have here is the Innocence of Wands, known as the Page of Wands, the Naked Heart in reverse. And this is an extra card made by this particular tarot deck here. So it's not an actual tarot card. It's an extra one that has its own meaning. And then we have here some more Wands energy. We have the Heart of Wands, and this is known as the Queen of Wands. So starting out, this is all about you trusting yourself, pile 4. With this Page of Wands here, you may ask for a lot of signs. You may look for a lot of signs, or you may depend on signs before making a move. The thing Spirit is saying, because I feel the divine is coming through very strong in this pile, but Spirit wants to tell you to trust yourself. Trust yourself because you can now. Trust yourself because you've been through hell and back, and it wasn't for nothing. It was so you could believe in yourself. It was so you could physically see your own strength. It was so you could know the difference between the voice of Spirit and the voice of your own ego. You've walked a path that has taught you, that, and So you should be able to rest easy knowing that you've learned from these things. The Page of Wands waits to be given orders by either the king or the queen. And we have the Queen of Wands here. So the Most High is definitely coming through to say that you've been here before. Whatever is going on in your personal life right now, the reason that you are on this reading is because Spirit has a message. It wants to give directly to you. The first being, and I literally heard this, is you've been here before. I'm not sure what that means to you personally, but Spirit wants you to open up to be able to hear it. Basically, you can't properly hear Spirit. You can't properly hear Spirit when there's doubt or noise. Noise can come from us asking a question or asking for sign after sign after sign. And the Most High is wondering why you don't trust yourself yet. Why don't you trust yourself yet when I trust you? Why don't you trust me yet when I trust you? I believe in you. Why don't you believe in yourself? Why don't you see your own strength yet? You've got so much heart, pile 4. You've got a lot of heart, but when it comes to exercising your strength, your heart and your intuition, you sort of clam up sometimes. Before making or settling on a decision, you like to check in with a few other sources, and Spirit really appreciates you being so open and willing to be led, but it wants you to hear it. Spirit wants you to hear Spirit. You may be listening, but you're not hearing. In order to truly hear, you have to remove the doubts and the questions first. Because when you receive guidance, you immediately wonder, is this true? Can I trust this? When you receive a vision, you immediately wonder if it was real. When you are directed, you start asking, well, when do I go and where and how? And there's too many questions for faith. That's too many questions for faith. Faith is very blind in the sense that we do not know everything. Faith is accepting the fact that we don't know all the answers, and that's okay because we don't need them. We don't need the answers to be led or directed or guided. All we need is heart, courage, and intuition. You have all three, pile 4. Spirit has personally certified you with all three of those abilities. The last ingredient that you are missing is faith. Trusting in yourself. So you have to release doubt, pile 4. Okay? Let's go ahead and check out the next card here. And we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah. You are more than worthy, pile 4. The Ace of Cups is, whenever we deal with any of the aces, this is divine intervention, basically. This is being hand-selected by Spirit in the universe. They intervene on our behalf. They impart us with something that we didn't already have, but we needed it for our journey. You've been given the gift, but you're still questioning if it's real. You're still questioning if it's yours. You're still questioning if you can trust it. You're still questioning if you're allowed to use it, or how you're allowed to use it, or when you're allowed to use it. There's all these questions. And Spirit is like, I didn't deliver you this gift with any sort of instructions because it's yours to decide how you want to use it, how you choose to use it. You don't need to ask any sort of questions. It's very authentic. It's certified. You have been certified. You can trust in this gift that Spirit has given you. Ace of Cups is in reverse to say that Spirit is trying to give you even more, but because you're already questioning what you've been given, it's very difficult for Spirit to have faith in the fact that you're going to have faith in the abundance and the rest of the blessings and the rest of the gifts and the skills and the talents that Spirit is trying to impart onto you. But first, you have to be able to trust in what it is that you already have so that the way you can be gifted even more. You can trust yourself, pile 4, after all it is that you've survived. If you have developed awareness of your history, you can learn from your past. Whether you were aware and made the right choices during your past, during that time or not, it's all about awareness. Right? It's all about awareness. All we need to do is have awareness to be able to look back on our history, on our past, and be like, you know what? This is where I messed up. This is how we are gifted knowledge that accrues into wisdom. This is how we are enlightened, is by looking back. Hindsight is always 20/20. So anytime we can look back and start to exercise our awareness, we're going to, our field of view is going to greatly expand. And we're going to be able to see where we went wrong, where we went right. And that knowledge can be used in the future moving forward. So it's almost like walking, right? It's like learning how to walk. Once you go from crawling to walking, it's not that you never stub your toe or trip again, right? But you don't necessarily have to think about walking either. It's natural. You just trust yourself to know how to move your legs after a while. After you've been walking for a certain amount of time, once a toddler starts to learn how to walk, they don't necessarily need to lean on things or hold on to things anymore. They don't need to hold their parents' hands anymore. They don't need to be taught anymore. They're not wobbling around anymore. They have a lot more strength and assuredness when they walk. Like I said, it doesn't mean that we never trip again. We still trip. People well into their 30s, 40s, and 50s are, we still tripped and things like that and stub our toe. But it's about the fact that you don't have to necessarily be conscious of walking. You don't have to tell your brain, hey, tell my right foot to move. You know what I mean? It's the same thing here. You've been gifted these gifts, and with the journey that you have walked, that is you going from crawling to walking. Your journey that you have experienced, that you have walked thus far, was all about you learning how to walk. It was all about you learning how to exercise your gifts. And you have utilized them. You just need to trust them. That's the final ingredient that's missing, is faith, pile 4. All right, so let's go on ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here. See what else it is that we're seeing. And the very first card that we have here is Today for Tomorrow. Wow. Then obsession, connect to heart, abundance, creativity. We have inner journey. Oh my God, that's crazy. And as well as like your spirit animal may be some sort of a wolf, a fox, some sort of a canine, because dogs keep popping up here. Let's start off with Today for Tomorrow. So this is being given something and feeling like it isn't good enough or questioning its validity when you don't have to, right? So Today for Tomorrow is like trying to trade today for tomorrow, because there's this illusion of the grass being greener on the other side. The feeling of, well, if I had this, and this, I'd be able to believe, or I'd be able to feel much more confident. Queen of Wands is here. The Queen of Wands is the ultimate confidence. She is all about being confident. You are confidence. You have so much confidence living within you, but you just can't seem to find it. Don't obsess over trying to find it or trying to get the right answer or more clarification. Confidence is your key here, and it's quiet, because all you have to do is be, and confidence will end up possessing you. All you have to do is be. You don't have to obsess. You don't have to do things. You don't have to try to, trade things, barter things. Well, if I had this, and this, you don't have to try to do any of that. All you have to do is be, just exist. Like I said, you've been certified by Spirit. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You don't have to prove shit anymore. All you have to do is be and trust and have faith. And then moving on here to connect to heart. Exactly. Connect to your heart space, pile 4. That's where your peace, confidence, and the voice of Spirit lies. You're a very heart-centered person. We have the naked heart down here as well. So you have a lot of heart, pile 4. You've been through too much to not have a lot of heart and courage. You don't survive what you've survived without it. Connect back to the same courage and strength that you called on to get through your most difficult times. Fall back on you, because you can trust you. And then moving on here to abundance and creativity, as well as inner journey. Like I was talking about inner journey. So you are abundantly filled with creativity and heart that came from your own inner journey. You've been certified with so much strength, heart, tenacity, fire, passion, courage, and strength. You of all people can trust yourself, pile 4. So release doubt, because it doesn't belong with you anymore. Doubt is no longer a part of your journey. You've walked right past doubt. You don't need to have doubt in these gifts that you've already inhabited, that you've already inherited, that you've already started to use. You don't have to have doubt with these things anymore. With maybe the new gifts and things that are coming into your life, yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be like a crawling phase where you have to learn how to walk all over again. But as of this moment, you're not in the crawling phase anymore. You have learned how to walk. So walk, pile 4, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing, pile 4. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some beautiful love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, and amazing Spirit itself for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world, and I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 5, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with the tarot cards before we're making our way to your oracle cards to see what you need to release in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And the very first card that we have here is the 4 of Cups in reverse. I love this card. Ooh, beautiful. We have the Universe, And the Two of Cups here. Okay. What I'm getting here, this came through so fast. These piles have been coming through so fast. Okay, so what I'm getting here is you keep replaying or reliving something over and over and over again, pile 5. And you don't want to, and it's 111 right now. And you don't want to, but you don't know how to stop it. There's something that happened that changed you. It's like you were never the same after this event or experience or person or loss. Your hearts were connected. You see these two hearts? They're connected in this cup here. Your hearts were connected. Whether this was a relationship that's no more or a person that has passed on to the other side, there was a very strong connection here. You almost mirrored each other as well. As you can see, these two cups, these two hearts and the waves in these cups, they're mirroring each other. So this is like a mirror here. And this could have been a divine partner, soulmate, twin flame, karmic relationship, something along those lines. Whatever it is that you want to call it, it's up to you. But this was a powerful, divinely orchestrated connection. Something happened to this connection and you keep reliving it. Or maybe something happened to this person and it's almost as if you are stuck in time and cannot escape, even though you desperately want to. But this force of the past, reliving this trauma or experience or pain, it resurrects this wound all over again. It rips it wide open to the point to where you feel like you cannot get out of it. You feel condemned to live with this. Wow. You know what? There's a message that I received a couple of nights ago and I didn't know why. It just, boom, came to me. And I feel like it applies to your pile. I definitely feel like it applies to your pile. But basically the message is that trauma, it's a lot like how we refer to the current era, right? There's BCE that stands for before the current era, and CE that stands for current era. It used to be BC before the birth of Christ and AD after the death of Christ, but we changed it, right? So, there's BCE and there's CE. Your trauma in general marks the point at which life for you changed. That's what trauma does. It marks a point in our life where it's like, wow, this thing happened. That's why people can remember the exact time and date that something traumatic or impactful happened. They can remember what they were wearing. They can remember what they were listening to. They can remember how they were feeling, what they were thinking. They can remember it's such a vivid, almost dream. And this is because trauma marks the point at which life for us changes. And you can mark that time in your life, like I was saying, with either very vivid memories or residuals of that pain. It becomes a part of history, your history. Whether you talk about it, acknowledge it or not, this time marked the beginning of a new era in your life, where your life was never the same, where your life merges with this experience to become your life's experience. So your life and this experience, they merge to become your life's experience, to become your reality that you are living every single day. And this trauma manifests in your relationships, thoughts, emotions, cortisone levels, stress levels, physical health, sleeping patterns. It affects the quality of life because the lifeline of your trauma has fused with the lifeline of your reality. And then if you look at this, these two hearts are connected. Oh my God, I think this message was definitely meant for you guys' pile. Because looking at this and saying that message, it's like, wow. Okay. So let me just say that again. The lifeline of your trauma has fused with the lifeline of your reality. That's why these two hearts are connected. It creates the illusion that one cannot exist without the other. But our trauma doesn't just get an abbreviated name like BCE, right? It adopts a vice, a behavior, a habit, routine as it merges with our reality and everyday life. So maybe we start drinking a little too much, spending a little too much money, going out too much or not at all, dating too much or not at all. It's binging a particular behavior or starving it, feeling too much or not feeling anything. It's like this imbalanced machine churning up and it's spiraling out all over the place, almost like a wacky washing machine when it's imbalanced. That's because we are carrying around too much weight. Our trauma destabilizes us. Therefore, it immobilizes us. This is why you feel trapped or stuck in the past, a time machine to your own history. We are unable to move, or we move sporadically when we carry our trauma. We're not meant to carry that much weight. Trauma is real dense weight. It's heavy and it slowly sinks us. So you may feel like you are sinking in this pile 5, but you are not. You're trying to refuse processing this experience, this loss, this pain, or this trauma. And because of that, because you are refusing to deal with it, it traps you. And it holds you still until you surrender to it. So do not try to escape this. Allow yourself to connect to this past or this pain or this experience, person, whatever it is. If you feel like running, stand still. If you feel like screaming, cry. If you feel like lashing out, verbalize instead. Verbalize your feelings. If you feel like escaping, pull up a seat. That's the only way for you to move forward. What's needing to be released here is fear of processing, fear of pain, and the need or want to escape. Time and your past is holding you hostage for your own good, pile 5. That's why you're feeling maybe a little like you're just floating in limbo, not able to move. It's for your own good. It's trying to be processed. That the way you do not move forward carrying this with you. Because instead of you just walking forward, you're going to be like that wacky washing machine, just all over, sporadically moving. So when you tell your body to move forward, you're not walking to the left or walking to the right, but you're walking forward. Your body will listen to you when you don't have as much weight to carry around because you're just you without your trauma. So trust it and know that it's not trying to hurt you or harm you. Your past is trying to heal you, and healing is painful. It doesn't feel like what we perceive it to feel like, where it's supposed to feel, nice and warm and fuzzy. Healing feels abrasive, it feels aggressive, it feels painful. Wow. The next card that we have here is the Hanged Man in reverse. I don't see these cards, you guys. I damn sure don't pick these cards. But I cannot believe that the Hanged Man is here in reverse. So the Hanged Man is someone who has been sentenced by the previous card, which was the Justice card in Tarot and the Major Arcana of Tarot. But he's been sentenced to die by hanging upside down. That's why the card of Death comes directly after the Hanged Man. But the Hanged Man here accepts his sentence, and he allows death to take him, to move him into the next phase of his existence. He allows something to end, but it's painful and it's very, very uncomfortable. He has to endure the discomfort in order to move into peace. So this is about accepting the sentence and not running from it. Release the need or want to escape, pile 5, because guess what? You can fucking do this. You can. You can process this. Whatever it is, you can process this. You don't want to, but you can. And that's what's the best move for you. All right? Let's check out you guys' oracle cards here, see what else it is that we're seeing. And the very first card that we have here is Ascension, movement. Wow, calling the storm. Oh my God, look at that. Peaceful among thorns. Wow. This might as well be the Hanged Man right here. Finding peace among pain and discomfort and the thorns. Wow. And then we have here, very last card is Envious Gluttony. You may as well be a Saturn-dominated person. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Or you may have a lot of planets, a lot of energy going on in your 11th house and your 10th house. Your sun or moon may be in your 11th or your 10th house, something like that. None of that has to apply for this message to apply. If this message resonates, then it resonates. I just wanted to put that out there because that's what I'm kind of picking up here. The universe is ruled by Saturn planet. The universe card is ruled by Saturn. Let's start off with this one, Peaceful Among Thorns, because I can't believe it. Like I said, you have to find comfort in the pain, or in the very least, you have to accept the pain and the discomfort. There's no way around this, or there's no way to avoid it. The storm, calling in the storm has been summoned. The storm came to free you, pile 5. There were structures that need to be knocked down by that storm. That storm's sole purpose and mission was to destroy certain things around you and within you in order to free you. Okay? And Envious Gluttony, the gluttony here was like I mentioned earlier. You keep reliving this and don't know how to stop it. Reliving this, whatever this is not processing it. It's re-traumatization, if that's even a word. It's not giving that wound a chance to heal. You're not giving that wound a chance to heal by reliving it. We do not have to heal ourselves. And I've talked about this before. I forget which video it was. It might have been the New Moon and Aquarius video. I'm not sure. But I've talked about this before, how we don't have to heal ourselves. Our bodies, our auras, and our energy knows how to do that on its own. All our body and energy and aura needs is some space and time to do it. And the best way that we can give space, time, and opportunity for ourself to heal itself is by not infringing upon that healing process or the transmutational process. So by watching what we consume, watching the types of people we're around, watching the types of things that we are looking at and seeing in the media, on TV, the songs and music that we're listening to, the foods that we're eating, there's certain things that we can do to really stop or block our own healing process, because the body knows how to heal on its own. The divine made sure that we were equipped with bodies that knew how to do that. So it's not much that you need to do on your end besides surrender and allow. Allow yourself to feel the pain. Don't internalize it. Don't become it. Just simply observe it, acknowledge it, then allow it to pass as a storm does. We don't fight off storms. We stock up on water and canned goods and allow it to come in and destroy whatever it needs to, whatever it destroys. It's the same thing, my pile fives. You guys have to practice. That storm is coming in. Allow it to come in. Stock up on what you need to and wait it out and allow it to do its thing, because it's going to clear up on its own. We don't have to come outside of our house and, start sweeping the weather, right? Like, we don't need to start cleaning it up. It does it on its own. Your body heals these internal storms on its own. The only thing you have to do is not stand in the way of that by being around people that are draining or toxic, not inviting in certain toxicities into your life. If you do that, then of course you are keeping your healing process from working. But all we have to do sometimes is just step back and allow. And then moving on here to movement. There's movement wanting or needing to happen, but you've been sort of blocking this progression. This pain and discomfort is trying to ascend. It's trying to ascend. Just like how the hangman graduates from man to spirit after he passes his body on. Pass this part of yourself on because it's weighing you down, and your spirit is trying to ascend, but your spirit needs to properly kill off this past, this trauma, this pain, whatever this is. Your spirit needs to properly kill it off in order for you to move on without it. Your spirit is trying to issue a sentence to your trauma where it says, hey, we need to hang our trauma. We need to hang it up. We need to properly kill it. We need to properly end it so we can completely move on, so we can truly heal. So pass this on. Release your need to escape and accept your sentence to deal. That's the most important thing here. Accept your sentence of dealing, of coping. That's the way this thing can truly die once and for all, instead of you having to relive it. Instead of you feeling like you're condemned to live with this thing. You're not. You're not. Release the need to escape. And accept in, release, accept in healing. But release avoidance, release escaping. Release escapism, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing for my pile fives. I want to give you guys a big hug and tell you guys it's going to be okay. Because I know what this is like. I did this literally for 3 years of my life, and it was the worst time of my life, and it was the best time of my life, because I really did see my strength, and I really came to find spirit. Honestly, the worst time in my life is what saved my life. I know it sounds crazy, but it really did save my life. And me learning how to process and forgive, it really did truly heal me. And healing is something I don't know if we ever truly completed, but it's something that it's like once you start healing, it's almost like you can't stop it. Once you start it, it's like you can't stop it, and it just sort of does its own thing, So allow this to happen, because you deserve to heal. You don't deserve to feel like you're condemned to this, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing, pile 5. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time out to thank your beautiful guides, my beautiful guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit itself for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Please keep conquering the world, and I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys.